I'm live. And it is a Taurus new moon. Welcome in, everybody. Hi. Starting right on time today. I think it's a sign of the apocalypse. How are you? I've got Paxton with me who fell in the pool today. So it's been I dried him off, but we've had an eventful day here around the Paracas household. How are you? Welcome in. I'm so happy you're here. My favorite moon phase is the new moon. And it really is. And the Taurus new moon was the first new moon I ever celebrated as a wee practitioner. I was 17. It was my first new moon ceremony. So it's kind of cool. You know, every time I do a Taurus new moon, I always think how cool it is to come back to my roots. And even then we called it the money moon and did all the things we're going to do tonight. So is anybody new to me or to new moon ceremony? First of all, we are going to be moving over to the Sage Goddess YouTube. We've just have had some technical challenges in the process of doing that. So I think by the next moon, our team should have sorted out how we migrate over there safely without weird technological issues, since we know how to do this here really well. But I'm really happy that you're here. And I want to thank Circe for being here to moderate, anyone else from Team SG, because it's a Sunday. Lee is here in the room with me. Paxton has to be here, so he doesn't really get a lot of kudos. But yes, it's wonderful to see new moon because we have Mars opposing Pluto right now. I want to explain what that means to you. It's not the first time it's happened. In fact, it happened in January. But it's just things are coming full circle to show you where you still have work to do. Does that make sense to you? And it sure is happening in my life. I mean, there's all kinds of ways where the universe is like, are you healed now? But how about now? But how about now? Right. And it's there are certain things I need to work on and probably certain things you need to work on. So what this looks like from my perspective is a lot of internal conflicts and challenges. This isn't so much stuff that's coming up with other people. It's your own wounds that are causing pattern interruptions. Is this making sense to you? So, and I'm seeing it in my own life, like, oh, guess what? If I do my work, I'm not going to have to go through this again. Or if I finally let go of this thing that I just don't want to let go of, then I won't have to face this again. So I just want to say, I'm here with you. I'm doing the work too. So tonight we are doing a releasing and a calling in. We are also blending, because I have incense. First of all, okay, so I have to tell you two product things. I normally don't talk about product things, but I'm going to toot our team's horn. I have wanted to design you a new moon candle since last spring, and it finally is available at sagegoddess.com. And then I'm going to put just a couple dozen of them over on Etsy tonight, because some of you like to shop on Etsy better, the Athena Slayer Etsy. This is the new moon candle you've been waiting for. It has gold leaf in it. It's so beautiful. It's black rose, or black cherry, I should say, with tuberose. And then there's a note in here called Sweet Alyssum. And Sweet Alyssum in magic is known as the herb that defines your worth beyond your beauty. Your worth beyond your beauty, which I thought was so cool for a Taurus new moon. It smells like heaven. It's very like deep and sensual and seductive. It's earthy and floral at the same time. And I think you're really going to enjoy it. It is, we only have 100 candles. So if you didn't get one, I would go over to sagegoddess.com. Your code is FIRE22. And that's the number one most important thing for you to get. And like I said, I'll put a few of them on Etsy when I'm done with you guys tonight. When I'm done with you. And then the other thing you want to get is, look what Hanale and I designed, a blue room incense. And I'm going to be blending it here live with you, because I love to blend incense at the new moon. Love to blend anything at the new moon. So when you get your incense at sagegoddess.com today, blue room, which if you're my student, you know what the blue room is. It's meditation where we go in and work with our higher selves and the higher selves of the people we're in conflict with. Anyway, if you did the blue room, I now have an incense for you that you can do whenever you do the blue room. And I'm making a small batch of it here live with you tonight. And then I'm taking it back tomorrow. Hannah and I are going to make a bigger batch of it. And then that's what we'll ship to you. So it's kind of exciting. So sagegoddess.com. Your code is what? FIRE22. Why FIRE22? Well, Beltane is this week. We're in May. I'm sorry, where did April go? Isn't it still, are we still saying Happy New Year? Except we're not. We're almost halfway through this year, which is really nuts. So anyway, yeah, I just want to tell you, get the candle, get that, and then my ring. A lot of you have gotten my ring today. This is smoky quartz with spinel and Tibetan quartz in sterling silver for grounding, clearing, and then Tibetan quartz is for physical healing. So all the things happening, you just need to know all those things, and seriously, we'll remind you and post the links and all of that stuff. Okay, yay. Yeah, May 1st is going to be a really good day because we have our astrological preview for the month, and I'm pre-recording or I'm doing a little Beltane ceremony with you. I'm pre-recording our 5/5 ceremony, so I'm excited about that. Okay, you ready? You ready to do all of this? You have your heat on in your house in Maryland. We're not going to complain to you, but it was cold here this weekend. Not like your nipples are hard cold like it probably is in Maryland, but like cold enough where it was like, really? Hi. I guess it's spring, right? So yeah, this month was the longest year of your life, Emily. Well, I hear you. We're going to do some good work tonight and move some energy and clear some stuff up. So I'm going to begin as I always do by lighting my white sage. Do I have any Taurus in the house? Sun, moon, rising? I have no Taurus in my chart. You know, it actually bums me out. I've told you many times, and I magnetize Taurus people. I love them. I think they are one of the great gifts to the world, and I don't have Taurus in my chart. So I get to be in envy. So look at that. Look at all the Taurus sun, Taurus moon, Taurus rising. Yeah, so first of all, happy birthday to Taurus suns, right? We are now firmly in your season, and I'm here for it. I do, because I'm always more creative during the Taurus season, right? I always feel more grounded. I always feel more, I don't know, like I want to, fix up my house or redecorate or take care of like projects that need to be finished, because Taurus is really good at completing projects, unlike Leo, which is fine. That's not our gift to the world. Your Mercury's in Taurus, so you talk like a Taurus, even if you're not like a Taurus, right? Anybody have Venus in Taurus? That's a beautiful placement because it means you love like a Taurus. It's just very sensual, very seductive. It's very like Empress energy. So one of the reasons why Taurus is so important for working magic around money, and we are going to set intentions tonight. I'm going to tell you this. People will say, well, I don't really need to focus on money right now or whatever. Any kind of abundance in your life is ruled by Taurus. So when we do this visioning part of tonight's ceremony, I really want you to think about what it is you want to experience more of or create more of in your life. And if that's anything around beauty, wealth, anything around your home, this is the right time to set those intentions for the year. This is the closest the moon will be to the earth of any new moon for the rest of the year. That matters, right? Because the moon's pull impacts our bodies. It impacts the planet through its pull on the tectonic plates, right? So we experience more earth movement. That can look like earthquakes, right? Paxton's like, I'm tired of this already. What was that meme I posted? It said something like, no one exhales louder than a dog who's unemployed and literally has nothing to do. And they just exhale like, so yeah. So anyway, all of that is on the menu for tonight. So I want you to, as I'm starting to get us ready for our work together tonight, I really want you to ask yourself, where do you want to create more in your life? And it's a sincere question, right? Where do you want to expand? And then the other good question to ask yourself tonight is, what do you want less of? And the best thing you can do is release whatever that is, whatever you want less of, release that tonight, because there's no time like a new moon to release and let go. And I want you to think of the releasing at the new moon as kind of like putting everything in the cosmic garbage bin, and just sort of flushing, putting it in the cosmic toilet, because at the new moon, we have this sort of swirl of dark energy. It's a vortex for sure. And anything you put in there sort of gets magnetized away from you. And I'm going to be talking in our after party tonight, after the new and full moon ceremonies, I go live with my students in wax and wane, which you can join at any time. And we keep the conversation going. And tonight's conversation is actually on the psychology of letting go. The psychology of letting go. And we're going to talk about the blockages that a lot of us have to good relationships, good financial, experiences and good financial plans. A lot of times we don't manifest because we're holding on to old beliefs and old energies and old relationships and old mindsets and old patterns, right? Old spending patterns, old saving patterns. And we have to update those to align with the things that we want to create and expand and grow. So anyway, I just want to say, can you release BS in general? I think BS is always available for being released. I find that bullshit goes really well down the toilet. Cheers. I really, you know what? I've hit my bullshit threshold for 2025 and we're early, right? So I figure if I'm already at cap, where are we going from here, kids? I want to start making myself I don't wear t-shirts. So it's I'm going to make myself a shirt that says, but I want to make myself maybe a dress that says don't come in here with that. Don't come at me with that. So I don't have to say it. You can just look at my shirt and go, oh, I should probably bring my bullshit somewhere else because apparently she's not able to store anymore in her pockets. So I think you're all ready for this. Okay. So dialing it back for a second, the second half of April, and we've talked about this astrologically, right? We started to talk about it at the full moon and in my astrological class, and I'm kind of finishing that conversation for us. The second half of April has a lot more going on astrologically than the first half. So you're going to feel a sense of busyness. And it started right around the 12th with that last full moon in Libra. Certainly in my world, it did because I took over Sage Goddess, which has been really exciting and a lot of work. But it's definitely the early part of April for me was a little bit, smoother. And then the second part of April has been launch mode. We are still integrating from the eclipses in March. So we're still, we saw some stuff, we learned some stuff, we experienced some stuff, but we're still in that place. Okay, so now what do I do with that? How do I activate that wisdom? How do I deal with what I learned, right? How do I let go of things and people and energies that aren't serving me? And again, it's hard because you might be well, do I have to let it go? Do I have to let it go now? Could I wait just a little bit and see? And the answer is kind of no at this point. What you saw is what you need to act on. And of course, as magical practitioners, we all know sometimes in magical practice, we have to act without confirmation, right? We have to act on the basis of the information that we have at this time. I do want to say this. I think tonight's a really important time, and it can never hurt you to do this, to set a collective intention for not you, okay? While you set an individual intention. So you could say, well, I'm going to focus on, I'd like to have a new house, or I'd like to have a new car, or I'd like to just have greater prosperity for my family, or I'd like to get a raise, or whatever it is for you. While you're doing that individual work tonight, just can you create some space to set a collective intention too? Because the planet itself is going through this really dramatic awakening process, and we've talked about it for a long time, but it sure is a bumpy road. And the more we can send energy out into the field, wishing for, hoping for, intending for the collective to experience these changes in a more peaceful way, the more we all benefit. And I just don't see us doing a lot of collective work right now. And I'm all about the individual work. And I know you guys are too. And by the way, thank you for being here. We've been gathering from moon ceremonies for almost 14 years. But it never loses its magic for me. And I always think about all of the other things that call to your attention and need your time. And so thank you for spending this time with me and with us. I always like to say, just for the next 45 minutes, can I just have you, I'll deliver you safely back to your beloveds who need you. But this is your spiritual practice. I do these ceremonies for free, as I always have and always will for the rest of my career, really as an offering because I think if we do this good work of aligning our intentions and our desires and then our focus, it all comes back to us. And when people ask me where to start with Sage Goddess, I always say, have you been to a new moon ceremony? Because that's where Sage Goddess started, was a new moon in 2010, when I set the intention to get people together for moon ceremony around the world virtually. And it sounded like a crazy ass idea. And then here we are. So don't let go of your dreams. It's really important. Okay. Remember too that I wanted to come back to a little bit of my teaching from a long time ago, just because it's still relevant. Remember that the new moon is about your inner world and the full moon is about your outer world. So the new moon tends to be more of like a withdrawn time. The full moon tends to be an outward time. So like this, I've wanted to spend a lot of time at home and in the garden and stuff this weekend. At the full moon, that weekend, I was happy to be out and doing things and having a ceremony at our shop and all the things that we were doing. So it's okay to withdraw and to turn within and just to be a little more quiet at the new moon. But what that also means is when we have this like Mars-Pluto opposition, and when we have some of this other activity, it's not going to affect so much, again, the outer world. It would if it was the full moon weekend, but it's going to affect your inner world. So I've been having big feelings this weekend and trying to kind of sit with them. And also the big work of this weekend, not projecting those big feelings onto other people. Can I tell you what a helpful awareness that is to come to? Like even for myself this weekend, I've been journaling a lot and just writing like, these are my experiences. These are my wounds. And when this stuff comes up, it isn't anybody else's job but mine to address them. As Paxton stretches in the background. He's doing his own big work around his big feelings right now of falling in the pool. So yeah, please, like don't project. And you can talk to people and say, hey, I'm having all these feelings and they're coming up, but I want you to know, I'm not trying to get you to fix or solve my problems. I'm just having big feelings, and say, can you sit with me through that? And people will be so responsive to that in your life, rather than you saying, I'm having this big feeling and I think it's your fault because. It's like, ooh, don't come from that place, right? So can we just be together in that process? What else did I want to tell you? So it's time to let go. Are you ready for my big, I like big questions. I like to journal. So I'm going to give you a big question for tonight that I think encapsulates the whole astrology of this moment, the energy of the Taurus moon, all of these things at once. Okay. So here's my big question to you. What will happen, do you think, in your life when you let go of what isn't easy for you right now? And I mean, the hot potato, don't touch it. Like that isn't easy. I'm going to take my hands off of it. What will happen? And I do want to say, like, the initial reaction is going to be like, oh my God, it's going to go to hell in a handbasket. If I don't fix it, nobody's going to fix it. And I can, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just going to say, clip it and zip it, right? Like really ask yourself that question. If a relationship isn't easy, what will happen if you just stop? Stop putting energy into it. Stop contacting the person. Stop, overextending yourself. If something in your parenting relationships isn't easy right now, what happens if you just sort of take your hands off of that issue or that problem for the moment? If something at work isn't easy, right, isn't flowing, isn't just sort of unfolding the way it should, what happens if you just, because we all think that we have to stay in control of everything, but that's the ego. The reality is you don't. So I think this Taurus new moon is about really recognizing that sometimes when we're constantly trying to like fix and adjust and focus and keep coming back, we end up keeping things on life support that should have died like a long time ago. And that's hard for us. But man, what happens if you let go and the other person lets go and it's over? Are you ready for that? What happens if you let go at work and somebody else comes in to help and they actually are able to solve it in a new, good way that you couldn't? Can your ego handle that? Right? So these are the questions I'm sitting with tonight, and I thought they would be helpful for you too. Okay, let's do some work. Not work. Let's do some magic. It's Sunday. We're not working. We're magicking. I'm here for that. You're here for that. So I want you to take a nice deep breath. The candle smells so good. It smells so good. It's all the things. It took us a long time to design that candle, by the way. Like, I've been talking about doing it, I don't know what, 7 months, 8 months now. So good things take a long time. Sometimes they do. Okay, I'm gonna get my new moon drum. Yay! Well, remember, your ego's helpful, right? Like, people who are like ego death and all these things, like, okay, but your ego is actually here to help you, right? Your ego is here to remind you of sometimes your path and your purpose. Sometimes it's your skills and your gifts. Like, ego's not a bad thing, but it's like, when you let your ego run unchecked, it's kind of like letting your teenager run your household. Like, no, there's an adult here. I'm the grown up. I'm going to do this, right? So we have to just recognize who's running the show. Sometimes we have to reset the thermostat. And you are so welcome to drum with me. I would love it. Thank you, Lena. Yeah, that's right. Developing an ego saved you when you were a kid. Yeah, we don't have things that we don't need, right? We're kind of intelligently designed. It's about balance and alignment, right? What do the Sage Goddess t-shirts need to say? I'll make them. I just don't know what they need to say. How are you? Good to hear from you from New Jersey tonight. So happy you're here. So we need to welcome in the guides and the guardians. Follow the cardinal directions and elements. So let's begin with the guides and the guardians of the East. Element of air. So calling in the guides and guardians. So good to see you. Of the East for new beginnings, new possibilities, new visions, opening new doors to new visions, new pathways, new possibilities, new cycles. You are here, you are here. And then to the guides and the guardians of the South, element of fire, welcoming them in, giving us the courage and strength that we need to face the new cycle with grace. Cheers for that. They're here with us. And then to the guides and the guardians of the West, calling them in, welcoming them for emotional healing and renewal. Yeah, maternal energy in the West. Also abundance tonight, right? Water represents abundance, flow, ease. So we're welcoming all of that under the Taurus new moon. And they are here. And then to the guides and the guardians of the North, element of earth, calling them in to anchor and ground and manifest our intentions and our visions tonight for strength, but also for patience in the North, protection, keeping us tethered to this beautiful planet in our bodies, keeping our health strong, our physical health strong. And they are here. And calling in the guides and the guardians of the upper world, the middle world, the lower world, the above, the within, the below. Thank you for gathering us across space and time tonight, reminding us of our connection to spirit and source, and then keeping us connected to our planet, keeping keeping our feet on the earth. They are here. Big breath in. Full exhale. And at this new moon, in all ways, we say, Amen. Aho. And so it is. Cheers and cheers and cheers to all of that. And thank you for being here to do this good work with me. So appreciated. And like I said, I'm looking forward to our after party conversation, because I just think there's so much. The question I'm answering tonight for my students, and again, that's our Wax and Wane program that Circe can link you to, is, okay, we talk about letting go all the time. So what do you actually do? How do you actually let go? Like psychologically, what, you know, like, okay, I'm going to let go. Do you just go like, is there like a special handshake, or, you know, there's a process. I'm walking you through what psychology says is the 3 or 4 step, depending on who you read, process for letting go. Because a lot of us have to do it, and it's the big work of a lifetime, for sure. Okay, so we're going to start tonight with the releasing work. And I would love it if you could look through your stone collection and choose a stone. I'm working with topaz tonight and with black tourmaline. This is an important crystal, and the reason I wanted to work with this stone for releasing tonight is originally I set intentions with this stone for something that I'm actually having to release now. Have you ever done that? This is my first time doing that. And I wanted to say, like, what's kind of fun for me is, even after all these years of practicing and being your teacher and being your mistress of ceremonies, sometimes I still do things, or am guided to do things, where I go, whoa, that's kind of cool. So because we're going to release to the element of earth tonight, because it's a Taurus new moon, it's kind of good, right? I mean, and honestly, I don't take any credit, because I'm always guided to do things by spirit. But I was like, whoa, the exact crystal that I worked with about a year ago to call in something is the crystal that I'm going to go back to and release with tonight. So you may not have that, right? You may look back and go, I don't know which stone I used to call something in, or I don't know what I was working with. But any releasing stone tonight you can work with, even if you didn't work with it before. Okay, so Circe's got shungite. I love obsidian for releasing. I like black tourmaline. All the black, gray, brown stones are good for releasing. Bronzite, you know, for emotional healing and releasing, especially grief stuff. Larvicite would be nice. Smoky quartz would be nice. Jet would be lovely, because jet is a form of petrified wood. So, I mean, what an absolute perfect form in so many ways, Jessica, right? The element of earth to release to. So petrified wood of any kind would be really good. Tree agate would be nice. So whatever you have, here's what I'm going to tell you. You do have something. Go get it. I'll wait. That's the nice thing about having a community of really solid practitioners is I know you've got something. Oh, okay, weird, Lena. This is weird. She's talking about that Alchemy Plus double terminated wand. Do you know I almost worked with that today? I swear to you, and I have not worked with that stone maybe over a year. That's the craziest thing that you're telling me that right now. So I was in there. It's right over here in my crystal little prayer room here. And I was in there and I was about to pick it up. This was like noontime today. And then I was like, no. Like I could feel spirit go, no, go get the topaz. But I was thinking to myself how much I love those. I don't think we have them anymore. It was just kind of like a stone that we, you know, had the rough and we had those carved. It's so weird that you're working with that exact stone today. I mean, awesome, right? It's in your hot little hands. Okay, I would love that if you would work with it for both you and me. I would be very grateful for that. So thank you for that. Namaste. That is beautiful. Sure. You know what? And I'm going to tell you, Krista Sanchez, follow your instincts and your intuition here, because that's when you're going to make the right decisions. So even if I tell you, oh, black, gray, brownstones, whatever, if your own intuition is leading you toward a certain stone, you have to trust that. And then I'll tell you too, I think, and again, this is really because I think this ring is so important for some of this work. I think this should be a new moon ring for you. This smoky quartz, Tibetan quartz spinel ring. I really think that should be a new moon ring for you. If you've been looking for one, it's a cool ring at Sage Goddess today. So, and a lot of people have gotten it already, so I'm not trying to sell it to you. I just think it's a rad one for it. I do kind of want to show you my topaz if I can. I'm trying to get more of this because I don't have any, but this was a lot of topaz, and I have another lot coming from the same person from the same mine. But look at the black tourmaline in it. Do you see the little bar right there? So I've been working with this stone, like I said, for a year, and now it gets to do the releasing work of the intention that was set with it then. They're pretty. Okay, so can we do the releasing part first? Do you have your stone? Do you got it? But how about now? How about now? How about now? I'm going to trust you have it. And if you're watching the replay, you can do any work that we're doing tonight also on Monday, because a lot of times we're in different time zones. So anytime throughout the day on Monday is good. It's already Monday where Lena is. Okay, so here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I want you to take your stone that you're going to release to in your left hand, just like that. And usually I tell you just cover with your right hand, but I want you to take a moment and really think about, what are you letting go tonight? And I'm going to ask you to double click on just that question, okay? When we let something go, the universe takes everything around it with it. Have you noticed that? So you can say, oh, I'm letting go of this relationship. But the universe is going to take everything around that relationship with it, because it tends to take the field, not just the thing, in my experience. So what I want you to ask yourself is, as I release this problem or this situation or this relationship or whatever it is, what else is going to go with it? Primarily what's going to go with it is how it makes you feel. Okay. Now that can be a really positive thing, right? Because if it's been causing you stress and anxiety, you're going to be like so happy to get rid of the stress and anxiety. Yeah, I like that. Annette said that tentacles have to go too, right? So like and think about it like you're releasing a plant from your garden, right? The roots have to go. Everything's got to go. So it ends up leaving not just the top soil, but kind of like a vacuum of vacancy, right? So yeah, and you can release into magnetic stones. That's fine. So Hillary said the grief of the loss of the family home and the community, right? Overthinking from Inner Spark podcast, which I really like. But I also want you to think about the hard parts that are going to be required for you to release, so that you're not caught off guard. A lot of times, one of the challenges of magic is that people don't have the whole conversation. They'll be like, oh yeah, I'm going to release this or whatever. And then they're like, oh, I didn't realize when I released that, I was also going to release these other 5 things. And then that can create sort of collateral damage and some challenges for you, right? So I want you to ask yourself, I'm just going to limit it to 3. What are 3 other things related to this thing that you want to release that are also going to have to go? And is your heart, your mind, your body, your spirit, have you really done that work to be sure that you're ready to release all those things? It's hard. And if the answer is no, you're not ready, then don't do it tonight. Choose something else. I always say go with the low-hanging fruit, right? So if you're like, no, you know what? I think I need to hold on to this for just a little while longer. The good news is you're going to have a new moon again next month, and the month after that, and the month after that. So we can do this later. But I always want you to be very thoughtful and mindful. Magic has reverberation, right? So it isn't just about the point in time. I loved Annette's word, the tentacles, right? The tethers, the cords that are interconnected. And then one way to know if you're ready to release it, by the way, is if you know that releasing it is also going to be in service of everybody involved in those tentacles, right? That's really the big question, because nothing is ever just about you, right? It's also about the people who are impacted by the circumstances that you're in. True. Okay. So, are you ready? And remember, people feel energy work. If you think they don't, I would encourage you to rethink that stance, right? So don't be surprised if you're releasing a relationship or a person, if the phone rings later, or these kind of things tend to happen. A lot of us are used to it, but if you're new to magic, maybe that hasn't been your experience yet. Then cover with your right hand when you're ready. And I want you to close your eyes if you feel like that will help you focus. It usually does. And I want you to imagine this stone taking you back to its origin point, whatever stone you're holding. So mine's from Pakistan. So I'm going to imagine this sort of energy line that takes me back to that area of the world, which I'm getting ready to teach about tomorrow. I'm talking about India, Pakistan, and Africa tomorrow. So we're going to have some fun exploring all of those places and spaces. It's super duper is quantum entanglement. Is it Ziriana? Am I pronouncing that correctly? It's a beautiful name. Okay, you ready? So I want you to imagine that all of the energy of the thing you're releasing tonight is flowing through your hands and into the stone. And of course, through your hands, it's also being released from your heart, right? Can you feel it? So just pour all of the energy of this experience. And so if you're releasing something that's been hurting you or stressing you out or causing you frustration, I want you to feel that hurt and that stress and that frustration leaving all of the parts of your body where it's stored and kind of locked up, going through your hands and into the stone. And then the stone itself becomes a time link back to its own origin story. And so I want you to imagine all of that energy going down into the center of the earth at the point where this stone was mined. And if you don't know, just let the stone teach you. Stones can talk if you listen. So I'm going to quietly do my own releasing work. And what you want to say just internally to yourself is, in this moment, at this new moon, I release. And then, either out loud or to yourself, whatever it is that you're releasing. And I send the energy back to its source with love and gratitude. Right? The words of the song that's playing, it's really crazy. Can you turn that up for just a second? I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I mean, it always does that. It's so weird how the music echoes the exact work that we're doing right now. So I release control and I surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. Can you see what the name of the song is? They're asking. It might show if you click on it at the bottom.
I release control.
I release control.
Alexa, Sunshine Rose.
Alexa, Sunshine Rose. And this is on my playlist, I believe, called Mariposa on SoundCloud. But if not, you can find it there. Isn't that just such divine timing? Don't you love it when that happens? And then use your breath, or you can spit on it. Life force energy. There's lots of different life forces in your body, and I don't want to talk about that right now. But the most PG-13 one to use during ceremony is your breath. And again, we're not cutting cords. Releasing energy is different. And just sending it back to its source. Now, if the energy needs to return to you, let me tell you how this goes. And I would love to hear your experiences too. In my experience, if you release an energy stream back to the earth, which is what we're doing now, and by the way, thank you to the guides and guardians, God, Goddess, and Source of all that is for releasing this on our behalf. Amen, aho, and so it is. Well, that's creepy. Gretchen said that when we said that, her Alexa started playing her music. I don't know how I feel about that.
I thought maybe it was saying Alexa because it was, we're playing it on the, I was like, wait.
That's creepy. No, she said it was like playing that artist's music. It's really weird. Creeperton, Alexa. You're creepy, Alexa. I stopped using Alexa because I would ask it weird questions like, hey, Alexa, do you know that you're creepy? And she would say like, I can't answer that question at this time. And it's like, that's because you're creepy. Anyway, let's go back. Let's go back where we were. If you release something and it is meant to come back to you, but you've released the attachment to it, it is going to come back to you in a cleaner form. That's why this is a harmless form of magic to practice, because it can't come back in its original form. It has to come back in a way that is aligned to you on a more full level. Isn't that great? Yay! Hi, Randy. Okay. Do you feel good? This little stone's hot, and I'm telling you, stones aren't hot. Stones are cold, right, to the touch. So, okay, you can turn it down now, but thank you for that little divine moment. That was awesome. So I'm going to keep my stone with me. Remember, stones are transmitters, right? So what that stone is doing right now on the electromagnetic level, truly what your stone is doing right now is it is gathering the energy around that, whatever it is you released, and translating that frequency, sending that frequency, and then connecting with the reverberation, connecting with whatever is returned, right? So it's already out there. The energy now is out there sensing where it needs to go to be released, what needs to come back. And then, because all of it happens rather instantaneously. And then you may not experience anything for days or weeks or months because we're in 3D time. And that's not how the spirit world works. But it will come back to you in some other form. Woo. Okay. Now, if you want to take a moment, I want to set an intention for the collective, but you could do a releasing for the collective too, if you feel really called to do that right now. So if there's anything that is needed, some of you are talking about people in your family and people in your community. If there is anything that needs to be released for the collective, you can also choose to do that work tonight through your stone. Yeah, so not in my practice. Great Chicky was asking, I thought new moon was for setting intentions and full moon was for releasing. So for me, full moon, because the full moon is actually the full gathering of the moon's light, that is for manifestation, completion, fruition. And because the new moon is the absolute absence of the moon's light, that is for releasing. The moon has released her light. And then at the full moon, she has gained her full light. Does that make sense? So, but that's just my practice. Some people do releasing at the full moon. It's always kind of felt a little topsy-turvy for me. But I've also just learned to really trust people's intuition. So, so the answer is not for me, but for some people. And the way I make my decision about what magic to work at which moon phase is by the moon herself. So when the moon has released her light, we release what is blocking our light, right? And when she gathers her light, that's when we gather our strength. That's when the blood is thickest in your body, right? So that is all about gathering and manifestation. And also, I like to look at the full moon as like a big beam of light that I can set in certain directions to magnify things and make things bigger. So I'm really glad you asked, because it's just a clarifying point, and people do things different ways. I've been to plenty of new moon ceremonies where people do other things, and full moon ceremonies where they do other things, and enjoyed them very much. But it's just a personal preference for me. So for whatever that's worth, I'm glad you asked. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to call energy in. So thank you for doing that good releasing work, because I'll tell you why. For me, this is spiritual hygiene. And every time you release something that isn't serving you, it helps all of us. It's sort of like people do that in ceremony circles. Like one person will release for the collective. They will cry or they'll shake or they'll burp or whatever. And it's like they're releasing energy for everybody in the room. So I just want to always say at the new moon, thank you for doing your spiritual hygiene work, because it helps all of us to keep our energy field clear too. Now, what I want you to do now, and this is the most important part, and I really felt Spirit called me in a big way tonight to have you write it down. And I don't always do that. But for whatever reason, it seems important tonight, so I'm going to write it down too in my big notebook of all things. I really want you to be very intentional tonight because we don't have any eclipse activity. It's a Taurus new moon. So you don't have to set intentions for wealth, abundance, beauty, but that's going to be what's best aspected for you. And because it's the new moon, I want you to focus on your work. Okay. So what do you need? You know, if the universe really is this big, benevolent, vibrating space, right? That all it does is match your frequency. What would you have it delivered to you in the next cycle? Now, I've got some very specific ones in my life because Sage Goddess is moving, which is really exciting. So mine is about our new home and preparing all of that. I am asking for the right new home, but not for me. It's more for my third child and her extended family. But what is it for you? And I want you to take a moment. Now, if you're new, I want to remind you, when we set intentions, we always write in the present tense as if it's already here. If you write in the future tense, that tells the universe it isn't here yet or you're not ready. And if you say things like, I would like, or it would be cool if, that's not a clear sign to the universe. So clear signs to the universe sound like, Sage Goddess has its perfect new home. It's aligned with our space needs, it's in a beautiful location and all of those things, right? I receive, I enjoy, I allow, I am open to, I'm experiencing all of these things, right? Okay, so take a minute. I would like you to do 3. You only have to do 1. Again, I receive, I allow, I call in. Remember, beauty, wealth, abundance, anything on that menu. And so it is. Blow on it or spit on it. You want to put your other things on it, you're going to have to, this is a child-friendly show. Okay, did you feel it? Did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? Oh. Paxton, exhale. He released the experience of falling into swimming pools today. I'm proud of him. Okay, so the new incense that I am blending with you live tonight that is available at sagegoddess.com. I'm going to walk you through it. I am adding into our bowl, and I'll show it to you when I'm done. This is poppy leaf, by the way. Altered states of awareness and perception. That's poppy leaf. So as I add this poppy leaf to my blending bowl, I am setting the intention that everyone who works with this incense will be guided to visions and dreams beyond their current state of awareness. Blue lotus, of course, is also, it's psychotropic. This is going to be a fun incense for you to work with and burn. These are blue lotus flowers. Blue lotus comes from Egypt. It was buried with the pharaohs. They believed that it carried their souls to the afterlife. And so I'm adding blue lotus flower into this mix with the intention that this incense will open your third eye. Again, I'm blending this at the Taurus new moon because of the energies around beauty and wealth and abundance of all kinds. Then lavender, because you need to be in a calm, relaxed state to do any kind of good, deep meditation. And I'm sure you know what lavender looks like, but if you don't, that's lavender. Lavender relaxes the body. You know, a lot of other herbs that we work with, like poppy leaf and like blue lotus, relax the mind, right? So that you're a little softer, you fall more deeply into what we call theta state awareness, which is like a deep meditative state. Then I'm putting frankincense and benzoin in, which are for protection, clearing, so keeping you safe during big spiritual work. So these are just powders I'm adding, benzoin powder and frankincense. I'm using this one as kind of a Hannah ground this up at Sage Goddess. So she took the actual resin and ground it down, but that smells like heaven. So, and almost every tradition uses some form of frankincense, benzoin. I mean, indigenous copal, indigenous populations in Central and South America use it. It's used throughout Southeast Asia. It's used literally, like I can't think of a tradition that really doesn't rely on some form of copal frankincense. And then the last thing is cedar. So cedar, we put cedar in here because cedar is, you got to be careful with cedar tips too, because they're kind of pokey. But cedar represents the grandfather energy. So big, divine, masculine energy. Also represents the ancestor spirits. I'll show you what this looks like. It's really beautiful. I haven't used this bowl for blending incense for like 10 years. It was really, today was a fun day of like going through and going, where is that old blending bowl? And I was able to find it. Okay, we also have the lotus stamen in here too, so I'm going to add some of that as well. So we get two different forms of the lotus flower. And then I'm adding the, so this is the new Blue Room perfume in this little travel bottle I have here. So this is blue tansy for increasing your frequency and vibration, galbanum, which is for blessing and clearing and also for healing, lily of the valley, which is for sweetness and beauty and abundance. So I'm putting all of the oils in. I'm going to show you what that looks like. And then I would like for you to do this part of the exercise with me where we're going to stir it 3 times. So the first stir, I always do this clockwise. The first stir is for coming into awareness of the past. So healing of all of the challenges that we have faced in the past in our lives. And that's part of what the Blue Room is. So allowing the past to be healed, allowing the present to be healed. So all challenges that we face in the present, coming into an awareness of how they can be resolved easily and for our highest good. And then the future. So coming into awareness of how all conflicts in the future can be easily resolved. It smells like heaven. It's so good. And together we say, Amen, Aho, and so it is. So what this is called when we make incense, I don't know if everybody calls it this, but this is sort of like the mother blend, right? This is the foundation. And then what we're going to do tomorrow is do the exact same process, but with the rest of the herbs and the oils. And then the finished product that you will get looks like that. And it's coming in these bottles that we put the labradorite stone on since we're blending it at the new moon. So you can actually get this now at sagegoddess.com. And then we're going to be finishing the blend tomorrow while we're still in the new moon window, and then it'll be shipping out to you at the end of the week. Oh, I love it. Carol said one of her friends, oh, I wish you were here to smell my hands, which sounds really weird, but they smell really good. Carol's friend gave her pink lily of the valley plants. Really? Is that a thing? I want a pink lily of the valley plant. I love lily of the valley so much. My mom had a little plant of it. I don't remember where she got it, but it's not easy to make it keep blooming. And my mom had a green thumb. She didn't have a lot of plants, but so how do you burn it? You want me to show you? Do I have a charcoal disc here? I should. I may not have a charcoal disc here. Anyway, I'll show you. This is an old charcoal disc. So what you do is you get a charcoal disc, you light your charcoal disc, and then you put a little bit of the incense blend on it. We are adding, I will tell you, we are adding Mako powder to this. Hannah and I had a conversation on Friday about it. Like, should we add Mako? Should we not add Mako? We are adding Mako to this so that if you want, as long as you have a heat-proof dish, you can just take a little bit of the blend and touch your lighter to it, and it will light on its own. Mako powder is an incendiary agent. So it can be expensive, but it's neutral. It doesn't have a scent to it, so it just absorbs the scent of everything else that's in it. And we thought, kind of sometimes it's nice if you don't have charcoal to have an incense that's self-lighting. So yeah, so we are going to add Mako to it. I didn't do that tonight because that's a finishing step. But if you want that incense, that will be there for you at sagegoddess.com. Where? Sagegoddess.com. It's so nice to still say sagegoddess.com after almost a year of not saying that to you. So, and if you missed the whole entire month and you were living under rocks, I'm back now as the chief entertainment officer of Sage Goddess. I like that better than executive officer. Okay, woo, we did good work tonight. We released everything we needed to release. We set intentions for what we want to call in. We made a bomb incense that you are going to love. And I will tell you, it is fun. People, when I stepped away from Sage Goddess, people sent in pictures like, do you remember when we blended this incense together at this moon ceremony? And so these become treasures in your collection, so they're special. We don't do it all the time. I almost never blend anything at the new moon. I think this is the first time I've done it in at least a year or so. That was kind of fun. That was a team effort. So kudos to our whole team who put that together. Robin took the beautiful picture of it that's on sagegoddess.com. I thought she did a gorgeous job. So cheers. I love blending at the new moon too. And thank you for supporting me all this way. Truly, thank you to everybody. It has taken a village. I'm very lucky to be surrounded by super creative, amazing people. I really am. And our community, like there's nobody like you in the world. So thank you. And if you're new, I hope you don't feel new for long. Yay! I love that. And Joy Cook said it's her first new moon ceremony. I mean, how rad is that? Talk about coming full circle. So I love you too. You guys are seriously our extended family, really. And I always tell you this, but like, there's nowhere I'd rather be right now than right here with you doing this. Does it get better than that? Getting to do new moon ceremony with your people? I just love you so much. So cheers. Okay, so let's release these guides and guardians who have done all this good work with us and for us tonight. And we always start where we finished off. So we're going to release the guides and guardians, the lower world, the middle world, and the upper world. So our connection to the planet, our connection to each other, and then our connection to the spirit world. Thank you to the guides and guardians for holding the space with us and for us this evening. We release you with gratitude. To the guides and guardians of the north, element of earth, thank you for keeping us safe and protected and bringing us a sense of peace, right? Even in the middle of all the craziness, right? Because our individual lives are crazy right now. The collective is crazy right now. So that we give big thanks to the guides and guardians of the north who keep us anchored even in these turbulent times. We release you with gratitude. To the guides and the guardians of the West, thank you for emotional healing and renewal, for abundance, wealth already on their way. Because I really believe if you set intentions for abundance and prosperity tonight, you already set wheels in motion. So we give thanks for all of that that's coming to you in divine perfect timing. and we release them with gratitude. To the guides and guardians of the South, thank you for all the courage it takes to bring our dreams to life. Thank you for the support. Thank you for helping connect us with our passion, our beauty at this Taurus full moon, new moon. We release you with gratitude. And then last but not least, to the guides and guardians of the East, thank you for a new beginning tonight, a new cycle, new ways of seeing old challenges. And ultimately, if you did the work tonight, new ways of experiencing old energies that are going to ultimately function better for you, right? Remember, how cool will it be if what you release tonight does come back to you, but it comes back to you in a form that works? Isn't that what it's all about? And because everything is possible, I totally believe that. If you're like, well, I would like to have this relationship, but I would need it to be more this and less this, or I would like to have, this other kind of work opportunity, but I would need it to be flexible and, it's like, just dream a big dream. What if it all happens? My mom used to say my balloon never popped. Your balloon never pops. But I mean, I've just seen really crazy things happen. So if you want things to work in deeper alignment, and then watch what you say, right? Don't unwind the blessings. So you can't set an intention for wealth and abundance and then, 10 minutes from now, be sitting in the kitchen going, well, that's never going to happen. If you do, I'm going to come through Alexa. Wouldn't that be the creepiest thing ever? Like all of a sudden Athena's talking to you in your kitchen through Alexa. I can hear you doing it. I told you not to do that. That's not going to happen. But I will be telling you that in the fifth dimension. I will be telling you not to do that. That would be kind of cool though, if I could be like, just be like, tap, tap, tap. Hey, you just really fucked that up. You need to control, alt, delete everything that you just said. Okay, good night. Thank you. Sorry for interrupting dinner. All right, you guys. Well, thank you for being here. Truly. Gonna extinguish my new moon candle. Remember, this is a new candle today too. Your code is FIRE22 for 22% off. Don't forget your code. People have been saying lately, I forgot my code. And I'm like, well, that sucks. 22% off right now is like a lot of money to most of us. So, but anyway, won't be lighting that candle again until next month. So that candle's going to last you a good long time. Have a great evening. Our after party begins at 6:30. So if you're like, this was fun, I want to keep chatting, I've got some really cool teaching tonight on the psychology of letting go. And that's going to be happening also on YouTube at a different link. So you'll have to be part of our Wax and Wane community, which is my class in astrology and the moon phases. And you can find out information on how to register on sagegoddess.com on the home page. And Circe has put up the link for you as well. So we'll see you in the after party. And if not, I will see you soon. We have Gem Journey tomorrow, which is my new class in gems and minerals. We do shamanic journeys together. Tomorrow night, we're journeying with peridot and tanzanite, which is stones of abundance and intuition. We've got a lot happening this week. So make sure you are looking to your schedule of classes. And I will look forward to Gem Journey with you tomorrow evening. See you in half an hour. Have a good evening, you guys.